Step back. All right, so we had the Mordecai Plantation, historic, and Mimosa Street in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is one of the slave plantations that had our forefathers in captivity. We out here with the House of David, the house of Yahawashi camp, Congregation of the Mighty, and amongst other brothers, we got members from Sakari out here. We got brothers from Sons of Thunder with us, their families, and pan the camera so they can see what we got going on. This thing is beautiful, man. We got all our brothers, our sisters, our wives, the aqua, right? Coming to show our people the true understanding of where we come from and why we came to this place here in America. And while we was in places like this, where the so-called white man was able to live in the big house, but we was living in the shacks, something like this. So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna show y'all everything that we went through, and we're gonna bring the scriptures out and the curses in Deuteronomy to show y'all that this only relates to the so-called black Hispanics and Native Indians that was carried captive here in America, all right? So we're gonna go on this tour. We're gonna just come on up this way and let's go ahead and get started. So let's get it right here. So the first thing, before we even go in, this is the Mordecai house. The Mordecai house is the oldest home in Raleigh on its original foundation. So they preserved this thing, man. It's the oldest one that still got its original foundation. So during the time of slavery, 1785, 5 generations were here. This is how it looked in 1785. This house bigger than most of our houses right now. In the year 2020. And look how good they was living off our backs. They was living real good off the blood, sweat, and tears of the people of Israel, the true Jews of the Bible, right? Any nation that was able to take us into captivity got built up just like this. This is just one of them, right? This whole area was built on the captivity and the oppression of so-called black and Hispanic. Get that Deuteronomy real quick. Get 28. Yeah, we're gonna get Deuteronomy 28. Get let me see. Go to 28. We're gonna get come on, yeah. That he shall build a house and shall not dwell therein. Right? Because we built this house, man. We had to maintain it, clean the gutters, right? Paint it. Mastermind wanted to be white this summer. Who had to be out there on the roof cleaning it and making sure it was crispy? That was us. And if you didn't do it, he probably tied you up to that tree right there. He probably tied you up to that tree with your back wide open and split it with a bullwhip. Right here.
28 and what you want?
Let me see. Let me get 28 and... Let me see what I want. Matter of fact, give me that 43. Read that real quick.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 43.
Right? Look at the size of this house when we read this scripture. Go ahead.
The strangers that in within thee shall get up above thee very high.
When they was living like that, when you was out there in the field, your slave master was living how?
They were living very high.
Very high. He up here, he in the big house. Right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
We were down very low. Do you know how depressing that is when he could snatch your baby away from you?
That's right.
He could sell, master could send his homeboy right here with a carriage, build around the rest of this street, and you'll never see your child again. They in the big house, you out here in the plantation. Getting them rich. Go ahead.
He shall lend to thee.
So he was the lender. We had to go to them for everything, right?
And thou shalt not lend to him.
Now see, when that money got passed down, who that go to? That went to his sons. What did the slave pass down to his son? Depression, anguish, not knowing who he is. Nothing. Right? Go ahead.
He shall be the head.
He shall be the what?
He shall be the head.
And he in the top of this house, he the what?
He is the head.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt be the tail.
And you the tail, you on the bottom. That's still to this day. Right? Jump over to verse 46.
Verse
right?
46. And they shall be upon thee.
These curses, everything that we're going to be bringing out today is going to be upon us for what?
For a sign and a wonder. And upon thy seed forever.
Now, guess what? The people family who own this, guess what? They still profiting off of it today. While we out here trying to get a tour to understand where we come from. You understand? Right? Go ahead.
47.
Yep.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Why he get the big house and we get the slave house?
We didn't serve the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Go ahead.
And with gladness of heart.
And with gladness of heart, go ahead.
For the abundance of all things.
So before we came over here and we was on the bottom, the Most High gave us what?
Abundance of all things.
We had everything.
That's right.
But we waxed fat. We got lazy. We wanted to do what we want to do once we got on top. Go ahead.
Therefore, thou shalt serve thy enemy.
Do what?
Therefore, they shall serve thy enemy.
We shall serve thine enemies. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Go ahead.
In hunger.
When we was on the plantation, who we had to go to the master for?
In hunger.
So when you wanted some food, you had to go to your master for that. Go ahead.
And in thirst.
You want to be thirsty, you in the middle, boss. I'm tired, boss. You had to go to him for water. No water breaks. Keep going. That's
and
how they
in
did
nakedness.
us. And in what?
In nakedness.
Look at your clothes right now. All from your enemies, your oppressors. Right? Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
Everything you wanted. You want to go get some soap to wash your ass? You better make sure you go get that permission from that slave master. You seen 12 years a slave, right? They damn near ripped their whole spine out. Better understand what's going on. We dealing with a different kind of demon right here. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron.
We're going to get to that later. He shall do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
How long?
Until he has destroyed thee.
Until he have destroyed thee. Now you see why we're in the condition we're in to this day. Right? Let's walk this way. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. It's a lot, King. Like, you know how serious this is right here? Look at this walkway right here. This was like regal back in the day. They pulling up in their carriage. They got the dudes with the violins. They got champagne parties. They chilling, man. They was living real good, right? And you know this Esau. Look at the structures. Look at the structures on the house, right? We brought this out the other day. It's built just like Petra, just like Rome, just like Greek. That's how we know this is so-called white man, right? Look at that. Get that good film on that thing.
That look like Petra.
Right.
Rome.
Right. Greece. Right?
Everywhere they go.
Ain't it gonna be a good feeling to look out them blinds one day and see them out there in the field? Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. Look how big the windows are. Right? And you had to work and make sure this was straight. You had to make sure the porch was cleared off. He might have had his tea table out here. Yeah. He might have had one of your sons out here for a footrest. Yeah,
that's what I'm about to say. That's right, right?
You got to think about the kind of demon that how they did us when this was coming out, man. This was serious business, right? Look at that. He chilling out there on the balcony. Him and his wife. The mistress up there looking at the black slaves moving the cotton. This is a heavy scenery that's going on, and this is just the front house. There's no telling. They might have had all kinds of stuff around here, man. Everything to show you that you was nothing and that they were better than you. This is white supremacy right here. This is an example of white supremacy and how they did our people, man. Right? And you probably had a good old buck boy at the top living in the attic somewhere. You know, what's the dude on Django? The one on Django? Samuel Jackson, was that him? You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. He live in the big house. Boss is we sick type.
Cool.
Yeah, the super cool. The boss is we sick type guy.
He looking right out that window.
He looking out this window at us. What they hey master, them slaves out there, they ain't doing what you wanted them to do, boss.
Like you,
right? Let's move this way so that way they can come in. Let's move this way. I've seen some stuff over here. But look though, think about this. Not only did you have to maintain the house, who was cutting the grass?
That's right.
Who was planting the flowers? You know they have flowers and all kinds of stuff out here, right? Who was making sure the water was brought into the house for master's bath? Who was doing that? We was doing that, right? Right? Our daughters might have got raped right here. Mm-hmm. Right? He might have had you living in the basement right here. Right? Crawl spaces. All these things, man. Look at the back. You didn't even know that this was back here. Wait till y'all come around this corner. Look, this the back porch. Right, that's where the slaves was at. They had you down here.
They looking out there, huh?
They had you down here. Feeling oppressed. Feeling down on yourself. Not knowing that you the children of the Most High and you here because you broke the commandments. Right?
It was crazy. That's the good slave.
Yeah, that's the good slave. He got that.
Right.
We're going to go down to the shanties. That's the shanty town over there. We're gonna see. But look at the back porch. Damn near the back quarter of the house bigger than most people's houses now. Right? So back then, you got to imagine, 1785, but they was living good. Then look, let me hit you with something. Let me give you some history on it. This is actually a historic park. All right? It's located on the last remaining acres of the former Mordecai plantation. You know, Mordecai, that's a Hebrew name. That's a Jewish people, the Mordecais, right? Historically, one of the largest in Wake County. So y'all are standing on one of the largest slave plantations in the state. You gotta remember that thing, right? Watch this. The plantation reached its height of 1,200 acres. 1,200 acres by 1860. Now we know what happened in 1865, right? Before that was the Civil War.
That's right.
You think he was trying to get this up so you could be free? You think he wanted to be like, hey man, you know, we got 1,200 acres, so everything all good. We're gonna let y'all go free. Y'all go up north, man. Go to New York or something, you know. Go to Toronto and start your life over up there. Hell no. They went to war. They died for this. To keep you in a position so that they could live like this. 1,200 acres?
Yeah, they wasn't keeping no 1,200 acres themselves.
Yeah, right. Who's maintaining that?
That's
Right? Let's see what they was doing out here. Look, watch this. 1,200 acres by 1860, and the family grew corn, wheat, cotton, and other crops. You know how that corn take up massive fields. Corn, wheat, and cotton.
All those.
So all them things is hard. That's hard work, man. And guess what? They had little Boo Boo out there. Little Tommy was out there. Little Taquan was over there lifting the hay barrels. Yeah. Right? Cleaning off the horses. Yeah, we had to do all them things, man. Cleaning up, we had to dump their bins. And look, they could walk around here proud. Because this they forefathers. This they forefather property. The state own this.
That's right.
So even to this day, we still got to go to them just to even get permission to see where we were slaves at. We still got to go to them, man. You know what I'm saying? This right here should vex your spirit to want to keep the laws even more. When you see this, and this is just the big house. We ain't even went to where we actually did no damn work. Right? This is the big house, right? It says, let me get the rest of it. Sitting at the center point of the plantation, the house was occupied by the family for 5 generations. So your great-grandfather, your grandfather, his son, and his son, all were under the same people. Now imagine all the atrocities that happened to our people then, in that time frame. 5 generations. You get to see that wealth of the slaves passed down. And what do we have today? Nothing. You can't even get a brother to buy a t-shirt from you without saying, nah, man, I ain't dealing with it. I'm gonna go deal with the Aki over there. He got it for a better price. You see that? Because they put us in a position to hate ourselves, right? So they had this for 5 generations. You got precept you want to bring out?
Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
Go ahead.
Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies.
What we do?
Serve thine enemies, which Yahawashi shall send against thee.
So the Most High sent them against us. He's sent them against us. Why? Because we continue to go against his will. Right? Go ahead.
In hunger, and in thirst,
Right.
and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you.
And that's still into this day. We destroy it because we don't want to keep it, right? Matter of fact, get that Isaiah 1 and 3. We'll get the basics today. Get the Isaiah 1 and 3 real quick. You holding something you want to bring out?
No, I wasn't.
All right.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3.
Right?
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Right?
But Israel doth not know.
Children of Israel don't know where the crib
My
at.
people doth not consider.
We don't consider. The average person, y'all should be thanking the Most High that he woke you up to this truth, man.
Right.
You should be honored because we're not worthy. We're not worthy to do the will of the Most High, how wicked we've been as a people. But he woke us up in these last days to realize, hey, they got to pay for this.
That's right.
You got to pay for this, man. You're not going to be able to put the children of Israel into slavery, beat us down, rape us, destroy us, take our heritage away from us, and then think everything is okay. And I'm going to keep passing the wealth down for 5 generations. Because it's actually longer than that, 5 generations. Because they still own this. And that 5th generation was what, 1964? What was going on in 1964? They was blasting you Negroes and Hispanics down the street with water hoses. That's why we got to come understand this history, man, and how heavy it is. Right? Go ahead, King.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Right.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken.
If we what?
If we would not hearken.
Right.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God. To observe to do all his commandments.
No, we just only got to do just the 10 and we good.
To do all his commandments.
No, the Most High wouldn't really punish us for not murdering each other.
To do all his commandments.
Go ahead.
And his statutes, which I command this day. That all these curses.
So what's going to happen to the children of Israel?
All these curses.
Go ahead.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You see that? And we all have been overtaken. No, get that next one.
Cursed shall that be in the city.
Where we at? In the city, right? And we in Raleigh. Ain't Raleigh a major city in North Carolina, the capital? We showing you was cursed right here. Cursed shall you be where?
In the city.
And what else?
And cursed shall that be in the field.
See that? Let's go to the fields then. Let's go to the field. Let's see where you was working at. Right? The Mordecai house. No, they over there. We'll go down here. We'll go down here. Watch your step. Watch your step. Yo, this is crazy.
I'm about to get. Can I get a walking precept?
Go ahead, King.
It's Isaiah 5 and 13.
Right.
Therefore, my people are going into captivity.
The Most High said what?
Therefore, my people are going into captivity.
Go ahead.
Hold on, let me see if I'm gonna go up. Okay, yeah. Because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
See that? We thirsty for this knowledge. This is the knowledge that we need right here, right? Because you don't see this every day. You hear Raleigh, North Carolina, state capital, right? You know, NC State. That's what you hear about. They don't tell you this. Let's see. Let's get this right here. Let's get this right here. All right? Let's see. Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States, was born in this house on December 29th, 1808. At that time, the house stood on Fayetteville Street. In July 1904, it was purchased by the colonial dames and later presented to the city of Raleigh. Like I said, even though this plantation lasted for 5 generations in one house, they still own this. Okay? They still own this. A president of the United States that oppressed the so-called Israelites. He didn't do nothing for the black and Hispanic people here and Native Indians. He damn sure didn't do nothing for the Native Indians. They was trying to conquer all the land then. 1808, your oppressor was born right here. Right? So if he was born here, you know how they treated you. Right? This the kitchen. I seen on another street sign that this is the kitchen. They prepared the food here. You had to prepare the food, get up all types of day, make sure the slave master and his family ate good. And then you get to go feed your family. The slop, the bottom, the entrails of the swine that we love so much, the chicharrones, right? Ain't that right, Ephraim? The chicharrones, the skins, right? And they gave that to us. Slop buckets, troughs, made you eat it, cornmeal, mush, right? But he was, hey, in the big house, he got his steak, he got the fat of the ribs, he got all that. The good chicken, not us. We got the feet. You got to understand that thing, man. All right? But because we coming back to this, y'all know that y'all royalty. And y'all know that y'all better than that. All right? So this should reinforce that keeping of the Most High's commandments, right? Let's get some more. Anybody got a precept you want to bring out right here?
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12.
Right.
As for my people, children of their oppressors.
Who?
Children of their oppressors.
Andrew Johnson is what?
Children of their oppressors.
Children are our oppressors. The way they treated us, they childish. Right? Go ahead.
And women ruled over them.
And they forced the women on the plantation to do what?
Oh, rule over them.
Rule over us. Go ahead.
Oh, my people. They which led thee caused thee to err.
What they do?
Caused thee to err.
So they voting for Joe Biden and Trump. That's gonna make them what?
Caused thee to err.
That's gonna cause you to go off and end up back where you here. The chains ain't on our neck and our wrist no more. The chains is up here now.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead.
And destroyed the way of thy path.
And do what?
And destroyed the way of thy path.
And do what?
And destroyed the way of thy path.
And destroy the way of our paths. The way we supposed to go. The scriptures say follow that straight and narrow path. Right? He gonna tell you, you could do this, you could go over here, you could be whatever you want to be, you could be liberal, you could do whatever you want to do. But he said the scriptures say that's gonna destroy that narrow path, the path that you're supposed to be taking to get to the Most High, right? Right? Go ahead, King.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and 21.
Right?
They have moved me to jealousy.
Do what?
They have moved me to jealousy.
We here because we moved the Most High to jealousy.
Right.
Go ahead.
Which is not God.
Uh-huh.
They have provoked me to anger
They provoked the Most High to anger.
with their vanities,
Uh-huh.
and I will move them to jealousy
Uh-huh.
with those which are not my people.
You see that? And then we saw that. We got jealous. You should be jealous that they was able to make money off our backs like this. Take our land, take our identity, and have us in this kind of position. Right? Go ahead.
I will provoke them
Uh-huh.
to an anger, Salaki,
Uh-huh.
with a foolish nation.
With the what?
With a foolish nation.
With the foolish nation. Right? Let's move on. Right? We got the next group coming in. Right? Let's get this church. Let's get this church. If you was on the live feed last night, you was able to see how we brought out how this church, that spirit that come with that Cesare Borgia, right? This right here is what was the destruction of our people. This right here. Get that they shall serve other gods, wood and stone. Right? This right here, that wooden cross, right? Our ancestors were lynched and brutalized in the ancient world on that cross. That's a symbol of death. That's not a symbol of life, right? And if you really go into it, the cross is standing on top of an obelisk. Why is that on all the churches? Why is an obelisk on top of all the churches? Because everything goes back to Nimrod worship. It's all about Nimrod and sun worship, right? So they was able just to incorporate Christianity into the words of the Most High. Has nothing to do with the scriptures, right? You got that?
Yeah, I got it.
Bring this out right quick.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64.
Right?
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people
Uh-huh.
from one end of the earth until the other.
So no matter where we went, one end of the earth to the other, what happened?
And there shall there serve other
We
gods.
did what?
Serve other
We
gods.
serve other gods. In here, we had to serve Caesar Borgia. You better not come out of your mouth at that time and say that the so-called white man, Jesus didn't look like that, or Christ didn't look like that, or the real Jews is black. You're finished. You're finished. Why they didn't want you to read this book right here? You got to really think about that. You got put to death if you read this book. Another book, you read a little pamphlet or something, you might get a good whipping. They might put you in the smokehouse for a couple hours. But you get caught reading that to the slaves, what's going to happen? You're liable to get put to death for that. Because the power in these scriptures is only for us. Right? Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Because these other heathens didn't know it. And we didn't know what they was teaching us in these churches. Right? But guess what? They made you work on Saturday. And then on Sunday, when you get that rest and you ain't got to worry about it, you're going to be glad to go to church and worship white Jesus. Because you've been beat down so much during the damn week. All right, go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
Even what?
Even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone, no matter where we went. Get that right there. You see that? Even wood and stone. And that's still made out of wood today. Right? Let me get a little, this is St. Mark's Chapel. Built circa 1847 by the enslaved carpenters. So you see how wicked that is? I'm going to make you build an idol and make you worship it. Right? The enslaved carpenter on John Houghton's plantation near Gulf, North Carolina, an Episcopal chapel. What is one of the main denominations? Ain't it AME for so-called black folk? AME Zion, American Methodist Episcopal, right? Episcopal chapel, it was only for the use of the Houghtons, their visitors, and the enslaved people on their plantation. These slaves sat in segregated gallery above the main section of the chapel and was deconsecrated and moved to Mordecai in 1978. You see that? So even though you're going to build it, it ain't your God. It has nothing to do with you, and you can't even be here amongst us when we have our service.
That's right.
You see what kind of devil we talking about? And that's just one facet. It's a whole system. This whole thing is a whole system to keep the children of Israel from knowing who they truly are. All right? Go ahead. Can you have something?
Jeremiah 16, verse 10.
Right?
And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore have the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
What do what? Read that again.
Wherefore have Yahweh announced all this great evil
The Most
against
High
us?
is the one that put this against us. Because we were some rebellious people, man. We continue to go back and forth. And he warned us
right.
thousands of years and kept warning us and warning us and warning us. And then when it happened, now he's like, oh man, well, he told us it was gonna happen. Right? Go ahead.
Or what is our iniquity?
What is our iniquity? Go ahead.
Or what is our sin that we have committed against Yahweh, our power?
Right?
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me,
What?
says Yahweh.
Do what?
Your fathers have forsaken me, says Yahweh.
Now we are our children. We are the children of our fathers. We are paying for our fathers' sins. Now, that's why we're here. Now we trying to raise up our children so that they don't have to deal with what we dealt with. Right? Go ahead.
And have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them,
and have what?
And worshipped them.
And worshipped them. Go ahead.
And have forsaken me, and have not kept my law, and ye have done worse than your fathers.
And we have done worse than our fathers.
For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart.
We do what we want to do.
Right.
Go ahead.
That they may not hearken unto me.
Right.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land.
We got cast out 70 AD. Get up out of it. Get up out the land, Israel. Y'all don't want me to be your father. That's what he told us. Go ahead.
Into a land that ye know not.
Into a land that we know not. And that happened with the northern kingdom too. Right? Go ahead.
Neither ye nor your fathers. And there shall ye serve other gods. Day and night.
Day and night. Go ahead.
Where I will not show you favor.
In the Most High. Did we have favor on this plantation?
That's right.
You think we have favor? He just said, look, you build it. My people going to come in and enjoy it. You going to sit up over there after I made you build it. And if you say something, I'm going to whip your back in. That's heavy, man. And if you said something about it, you was liable to get punished.
Man, those trees got a lot of stories on them.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot of blood out here that's on this ground that y'all walking on. Right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Zechariah.
Let's keep walking.
Chapter 5, chapter 11 and verse 5.
Right?
Who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Who do what?
Hold themselves not guilty.
They hold themselves not guilty. Right? Go ahead.
And they that sell them say,
blessed
be the Lord.
So the white man said, blessed be the Lord, because they was able to sell us. They got rich. Right? Get the backside of that church. Get the backside of that church. They that sell them say what?
Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
They got what?
I am rich.
They got rich, man.
And that also go into what we watched that day yesterday when we had that Edomite lady, when she was talking about how she was blessing the Most High, and they was calling on the Most High saying they begging the Most High to come back to them because they know the Most High left them and he's coming back to his people. And that's what you see fear in these people's eyes right now, and in their speech. You know what I'm saying? They say, bless America, please save America. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff that they starting to see, that the Most High leaving them, and that's why they're falling. You know what I'm saying? But read that one more time what he just read.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they sell them and say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
For I am rich.
Right.
They felt good about that thing.
Right.
They felt good about doing this to you, man.
Hey, didn't you bring that up a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
How the nations, how they were saying blessed, that they were being blessed because they had
blessed.
us.
We gotta understand something. The
last
nations
week,
are
this week.
blessed when we're in sin.
That's right.
When we're in sin, we bless the nations. You know why? Because they can take us and turn us into this.
Right.
Slaves. Right? That's their power. Keep them wicked, we rule. Break them from who their God is, we on top. We got to remember that thing. But when they defend their God, when they come back to their God, leave them alone. That's what the scriptures say. Anybody got the Apocrypha?
I got it.
You got your Apocrypha?
Yeah.
Give me that real quick, and Judith,
that
we'll
Judith,
move on.
right?
Yeah, that Judith, chapter 5.
Figure 5.
Yeah. Let me show you, because these nations know, man. As long as we got them Negroes on the bottom, man, we good. We gonna eat good. They gonna serve us good. We can let them keep thinking that they gonna be a part of this. They with us. Man, the Most High them put a serious special punishment because he's only our Father. You can't whoop the neighbor's kids. You can't whoop the neighbor's kids. my son and your son do something together. They break the windows out at the church. Am I gonna whoop his son? Yeah, just say it again. Yep.
And they sin against their power. Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Read that again. Read that again.
And if they sin against their power,
if we sin against our God, you see, even the heathens know this.
They know this.
Right, go ahead.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This is how we know that we can destroy them, because they're sinning against their God. Right. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
And we shall what?
Overcome them.
We shall overcome them. Go ahead.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation.
If there be no sin in us, no iniquity, right? If everybody on the Sabbath was doing what we doing right now as a nation, think about that. What is our people into right now? Ain't no telling what our people in the midst of right now on the Sabbath day, right? Go ahead.
Let my Lord pass by.
Do what?
Let my Lord pass by.
He's talking to his king. Lord, hey, look, because we need to leave them alone. Pass them by. Why?
Lest the Most High defend them.
Lest the Most High will do what for us?
Defend them.
He will defend us. Go ahead.
And their power for them.
And he will be for us. Watch this.
And we become a reproach before all the world.
So instead of us being on the bottom, being a reproach for everybody else, the heathen will be.
Right, because they remember what happened to Egypt.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they
saying?
remember. The Most High destroyed all those Hamitic nations, the Canaanites, the Jebusites, the Philistines, Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah. It was all Hamites. So those stories resonated throughout the world.
Which makes sense why they taught us Christianity
right.
and told us that we don't have to keep the law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so by us not keeping it, because they know if these people keep the law, then their God is going to defend them and come back to them. Right. So they have to teach us. The Old Testament's done away with. Read Paul. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we all know Paul was teaching the same thing, but like Peter said, they
Paul's
don't understand.
It's hard to understand.
It's hard to understand, right?
Let's move. But yeah, go ahead. While you bring that precept, that mobile precept.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 29-30. And thou shalt grope at noonday.
We shall do what?
Grope at noonday.
Right.
As the blinded grope in darkness.
Right.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
What the Most High say gonna happen?
Thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
Right.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
We shall only be oppressed and spoiled. How long?
Evermore.
Forever, man. We still getting oppressed right now. Go ahead.
And no man shall save thee.
And no man shall save thee. Right? Watch this right here. Y'all see these bricks? Y'all see these bricks? These were hand put down. These bricks was hand put down. Who you think did it? Who you think built these bricks? Y'all, we walking on the labors of our ancestors, man. We walking on their labors. Let's get some more. I want this building right here, though. Right? Because I think the brother's still over there. Right? They still over there? Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful, beautiful. Matter of fact, let's get this green building.
That's perfect.
Right here. Yeah, let's get this green building. All right? Let's get this green building right here. So, this is the federal building, built circa 1847.
Look at the columns.
Right? Look at Esau's columns now. Look at the architecture. So we know who we're dealing with. This is the federal building. This was a federal building. Look at this trash right here. This looks like somebody's doghouse. Right? This is a giant doghouse. Right? Right? Built circa 1847. This structure is sometimes referred to as an early post office. So when master needed a letter, ran down to the store, or the missus needed some flour, guess who went to the post office from here? And went right down them bricks and went on the way he needed to go. Our forefathers, right? Watch this. It was used for that purpose. Architectural and paint analysis indicate it was a government structure of some type. See that? So this is Esau's government. Don't the White House got them columns like that? Don't the Congress building got them? Don't the British Parliament got buildings like that? Ain't it buildings like that? The Pantheon, the Parthenon in Rome and Greece, right? And all those people, guess what? They were warmongers. They were warmongers, and they were enslavers, right? And they wanted to conquer every nation that was around them to make them subservient to them. That's white supremacy.
That's right.
Their whole reason for being here is white supremacy, right? But they the smallest amount of people on the earth. You got to understand that thing. Everybody else in the world is brown, except who? Think about that thing, how heavy that is. They are the only group of people on earth, the entire earth,
even monkeys got melanin.
that don't have melanin.
You know what I mean?
The plants got melanin.
Plants
It's
got
called
melanin.
chlorophyll. Plants got melanin, right? The rocks got melanin. It's minerals, right? But who's the only people that don't have that? The so-called white man. And then look at their actions. That shows you that they dealing with a whole nother spirit, right?
And we see that in our food every day.
Right.
Stay away from white rice. Stay away from white sugar. You know what I mean? I can go on white
Everything.
bread.
Yeah, because
You
everything
know?
is naturally brown.
God.
Everything is naturally brown or dark in color. Vanilla, all that, right? You got something?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue with 28, Deuteronomy 28 and 30.
Right.
Thou shalt betroth a wife,
Uh-huh.
and another man shall lie with her.
Ooh, read it again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife,
Uh-huh.
and another man shall lie with her.
Another man shall lie with her. We betroth wives, man. How sad is that? First of all, you just married this woman. And Master was like, nah. Let me get that first.
First.
And you hear him in there like Forrest Gump, yee, on your wife. No, we gonna keep it G, but that's what it is.
Right.
He right there, and you right here in the field. And what can you do about that?
And she come out with shame on her face.
Yes, just
Shameful.
looking depressed. She don't know what's going on.
She can barely look you in the eye.
Right. And you can't defend her. You can't defend her. Or catch a hot one in your head or 40 lashes across your back. Right? Y'all step to the side real quick. Step to the side. Right? You can't defend her. Right? Read that again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Watch this. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Read it again.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
And thou shalt not dwell therein. You gotta understand how heavy that is. And not only did they do that to the women, don't get it twisted. They did it to the men as well. They would go to them slave markets, right? That slave master was a homosexual. What would he do? He would buy boys for the sole purpose of buck breaking them.
And that's in his nature anyway.
Right? Let's roll. Let's move this way. We won't overlap them. Hey, look, man, they was looking good, man. A day like this in the fall, North Carolina, I got the slaves out here popping, right? I got money in the bank. We got the federal building. Everything's good. Life is good, man.
Let's get that walking, finish that walking precept.
Right? Okay. We're gonna go up this way. Life is really good, man.
Thou shalt betroth a wife,
Right?
and another man shall lie with
What
her.
was he gonna lie with that? Right here. Right there. You best believe our sisters and our daughters got raped right here. Right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house.
Did we build what?
Build a house,
Didn't it say the slaves built this house? Go ahead.
and thou shalt not dwell therein.
You ain't living in the big house, buddy. You ain't living in the big house. You living right there. You living right there. Let's get some of this plant. Let's get some of these crops. Let's see what's going on. They ain't gonna let us go in there though. Let's get some of this. And this is small. You know this ain't even really what it look like.
This ain't even a piece of it.
Right?
No, this might have been that herb garden for the kitchen.
Right. This the garden. This the Ellen Mordecai garden. This space represents the 19th century Mordecai family garden as described by Ellen Mordecai in her book. Watch this. Gleanings from long ago. The mistress.
Sounds so beautiful.
Look. Get that. Get that. Gleanings. Okay? From long ago. They was proud of that, man. They was proud that they had your children out here planting Mrs. Mordecai's herbs. that she went in there and made some bread with no salt. Or some chicken with no seasoning. Yeah, that was Mrs. Mordecai, her.
That 30, is it, don't say vineyard?
Yeah, go ahead, bring that out.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard.
Thou shalt plant what?
Thou shalt plant a vineyard.
What's that? Ooh, get that right there. What's that on top of that? And them grapes. Go ahead.
And shall not gather the grapes thereof.
So you thought you was gonna get a cold glass of that wine, boy?
And shall not gather the grapes thereof.
And you ain't gonna be able to eat the grapes. Eat one of them grapes you want to. Eat one of them you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
The ox shall be slain before thine eyes.
This going into the northern kingdom. Because they got this land because they had to do what? Read it again from the top where you just at.
The ox shall be slain before thine eyes.
They killed all the buffalo off.
That's right.
They killed the food source for the Gadites. Ain't you a Gadite? Who a Gadite out here? Right? Gadite. Anybody else a Gadite? All right? They killed the buffalo, didn't they? Yep. By the millions. Yep. And piled their bones up. So you wouldn't have clothing. You couldn't build your houses out of it.
What was that called?
You couldn't have the bones. That was the Battle of Bull Run. You had the massacre, the Great Expansion into the West. Lois and Clark. People don't know. Lois and Clark went out there to scout to see where the Indians was, so they could bring in the U.S. cavalry to slay your ox right before you, and you couldn't do nothing about it, because they know how we got down on the ox. We love a good oxtail, don't we? Every last one of them. We love that oxtail and that rice. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And thou shalt not eat thereof.
And we ain't gonna get to eat thereof. Go ahead.
Thine ass shall be violently taken away before thy face. And shall not be restored to thee.
You see that? But he said he was going to give us what? 50 acres and a mule. What's a mule? An ass. He said, no, we're going to take that. Let me get that. You know what you could have did with 50 acres and a mule? You know how much 50 acres would be worth right now? Let me get that. Yes, I still want that. You told me. But they ain't going to get that to us. Right? Go ahead.
Thy sheep shall be given unto thy enemy.
Right? The what?
Thy enemy.
So they was eating the lamb chops when we supposed to be eating that. We supposed to be eating that good old lamb, that calf of 1 to 2 years. That's supposed to be for us, right? But big monster got it after he done just slayed one of our wives. We gotta look at that thing, man. That's evil. See, they was living real good, but the emotions and the physical and mental scars that we was dealing with on the plantation was heavy, man. That's a heavy thing. That's utter depression every day you wake up. Why you think a lot of us killed ourselves? We jumped off the ship. Why? Because we know what was coming when we got here on these shores, right? You got something else? You got to finish that out?
Yeah, I can finish that out.
Finish that out and then bring up what you got.
And thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
And what happened on the plantation?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
Right.
And thy eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long, and there should be no might in thy hand.
There should be what?
There should be no might in thy hand.
You couldn't do a damn thing about it. You ain't had no monetary might to buy them back. There's no emotional might pleading, Master, please don't sell my... Get your ass off me. Yeah. Rip your baby from you. Look at that baby right there, right? Look at that baby right there. Beautiful, right? That's one eye. Look, she got aggression. She held the baby tight. I seen it. She like, hell no. But think about that thing. That baby love her mama, love her daddy, right? Here come Esau. Yep, well, we need a couple $100. And there was what? Read that again, the last line. Yeah, no might in our hand, right?
Shall look and fare with longing for them, and all the day long.
All you could do was cry about that thing.
There should be no might in thy hand.
So you couldn't get your child back. You would never see your child again. But then guess what? You got to wake right back up, 5 a.m., right back over here, so we can look at the gleanings from long ago. How depressing is that? You be ready to kill yourself. So that show you the kind of beast that we're dealing with. These are just small examples, guys. This is just one plantation. This was all over the South. There was thousands of plantations that were like this, that's worse. And we don't really know, like the brother said, these trees got a lot of stories. We just going off what they show us. We ain't going off the details and how hot it was and the labor they was doing, what was their quota they had to make if they didn't make that cotton pick. Picking cotton ain't no easy job. They had kids out there. Right? Let me get this. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb,
right,
and a byword
go ahead,
among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Wherever he sent us. A proverb and a byword, right? No matter where he send us. You gotta understand that's deep, man. That's deep. And why they get to do that? Because we're on the bottom, man. We gotta grab Mrs. Mordecai's basil. Cause she's gonna make a rhubarb tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's real, man. We didn't get to enjoy that, right? We had to pick it for them, right? And then you know how special we are. We was able to take the rubbish and the trash that they gave us and turn it into something. Today they call that being ghetto, right? What's going on, King? Shalom, shalom, shalom. Right? Let's move on because we want to make sure that everybody else can eat. Anybody else got precepts?
I'm gonna bring out this 45 and 46 of Deuteronomy 28.
All right, let's get that mobile precept.
All right, mobile precept. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Until thou be destroyed.
Till thou be destroyed, right?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments.
To keep his commandments.
And his statutes,
right,
which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy seed forever. Now we at this place. We're at the Allen kitchen, okay? So we had a kitchen down there, right? Now we got a kitchen up here.
See, that was that
right.
That was the herb garden.
Right, that was the herb garden, right? So now let me hit you with something, y'all. Let me hit you with something. You know what kind of money you gotta have 2 kitchens? Most of our kitchens got a stove that halfway work. Refrigerator, light bulb don't work when you open the door, right? That's most of our kitchens, man. Especially if you're from up north. Up north, them kitchens be super small. This slave plantation in the 1700s had 2 full working kitchens. And you know it was hot in there because they was cooking on open fire. So, but you had to rotate them coals. You had to go chop that wood. Back-breaking work. But guess what? As long as you got that good meat on that table, it got them fresh herbs around it, you was all right. Mess up that meal. Don't have that silver clean when his guests come by the house. You see that? So that's always a state of mental oppression. Give me that Ecclesiastes 7:7. Let me ask y'all a question. How y'all feel about what y'all saying right now? Y'all feel happy? I can tell. Sis right here, she like, yeah, no. Right? How we feel about this thing? Right? How we feel about this thing? Right? This thing right here is depressing, right? Right? Look, the brother, they trying to find a way to escape out. See? How we gonna get up out of here tonight?
Get in. We ain't want to change this up.
Right? But give me that Ecclesiastes 7:7, right? Because this is all what? Oppression. We did a lesson on this past week, Micah, the 2nd chapter. It talks about the oppression that we go through and why we went through it, right? And then it describes how they think about how can they continually keep us in a docile and oppressed state. You got to understand that thing, right? Bring that out, 7 to 7.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7.
Because I wanted to ask everybody how y'all feel about this. If you okay with this right now and this ain't hitting your spirit, something wrong. You need to check yourself. You really need to check yourself because there's nothing good about what happened to us here in any way, shape, or form. Nothing. All right, go ahead.
Surely oppression.
Surely what?
Surely oppression.
This was all about being oppressed, man. Go ahead.
Maketh a wise man mad.
Make a wise man mad. Right, go ahead.
And a gift.
Oh, no, today we're going to give you Sunday worship.
And a gift.
Oh, today we're going to let you have a day off. The mistress going to let you make some pies.
And a gift.
And a gift what?
Destroys the heart.
Oh, master, my master ain't that bad. Bosses, we 6. That's what come from that. Right? I'm gonna beat you down so much that when I give you something, it's gonna destroy your heart because you're not gonna see me as your enemy anymore. My master, he ain't that bad. Go ahead, read it again from the top.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad,
Surely oppression make a wise man mad.
and a gift destroys the heart.
Right?
Better is the end of the thing
Uh-huh.
that beginning thereof,
Uh-huh.
and the patient in spirit is better thereof,
Mm-hmm.
and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So like,
Right. No, that's good though. Patient in spirit, then proud in spirit. You should not be proud that this happened to your people. But you have to understand why we went into it and why it happened to our people. That's the key. And then now, how do we get out of it? That's the next step. Why are we here? Right? What did we do when we was here? How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? Because guess what? We just ain't on the plantation no more. But we damn sure still slaves. Let me hit you with something. How did we come to America? Everybody know. How? Ships and chains, right? Leave America right now. Illegally. How you coming back to America? And on the ship. That's the same way you gonna come back. So that lets you know you ain't free, man. You ain't free, right? The only freedom that you have is the freedom of your spirit, and that's when you start keeping the laws of the Most High. If not, you in the kitchen, just like that. You rotating that wood. I done worked in an open fire pit. That's hard work. I'm talking about with wood and everything, with a wooden spatula. It's 500 degrees. Yeah, sweating. Remember, I used to work at this Italian wood fire place. I couldn't imagine having to work in this joint every day. And not to mention, I might have to work here every day and then go down there and help them out. Plus, I got a wife, kids. He trying to rape my wife. His son trying to sell my son. It's a lot that's going on. And this is just right here, y'all. The politics of the plantation. It's a heavy thing, man. All right? You got a precept you want to bring out? You got a precept you want to bring out, Chief? All right. What time we at? 2:30? What time he say we supposed to meet up? He said everybody meet up at 2:30? Okay. I think they still rocking around though, right? Okay. Let's get these two right here. And we can wrap it up. I'm glad you said something, but we gonna have to pull it. Okay. All right. Now watch this. Let me hit y'all with something. That's the kitchen, right? This right here is the smokehouse. Okay? All right, let's get the smokehouse. Built 1826, the smokehouse was an integral part of plantation life. A year's worth of meat could be stored in this building, providing food for all who lived there. The meat was smoked, then cured in salt to help prevent the growth of mold and bacteria. But what they don't tell you is, who the hell was curing and smoking the meat?
That's right.
Who was slaughtering the animals? Us. It won't Massa. Massa was telling you to bring me the smoked. Okay? Massa was eating good. A whole year. You know what kind of food you gotta have stored up to eat for a whole year? Meat. Want no refrigeration. But watch this. Get out of line and don't have his smoked meat. You might end up in that smoker. Yeah. They did that to us too. Any form of wickedness and thoughts that we can think of, they did it to us. Right? We ain't even seen the plantations like in South Carolina, Georgia, North Florida, Tallahassee, Alabama. Oh my God. Would the heat increase by another 10, 20 degrees? That's a serious thing to think about, man. Right? This was a smokehouse. Look how big that joint is. That joint about big as a kitchen. A whole year. Right? They got you got to kill the pig, bring him up here. They got the whole cow, you got to cut him in quarters, bring him up here. Chickens, whatever. Right? You got to go catch the chicken,
Yo, bro, I'm getting hungry.
Right, my family hungry. Look, we hungry, but we can't eat. You know why? Because we got to finish smoking master's meats.
Imagine being around all that, man. You got to smoke it and
they got
get
you
it ready.
And then let me hit you with something else. Not only was that used for food, this was merchandise.
That's right.
Because now I can take what you just made. You're not going to receive the benefit of that money. I'm finna go sell them smoked meats to the next plantation.
That smoked barbecue sauce you
That
invented,
brisket.
that's going right on there.
That old North Carolina chopped barbecue that we love so much with the slaw. Right here. Our ancestors made that. Gotta understand that thing, right? You got something you want to bring out?
I want to bring out, for the treatment of our people on plantations like this,
right?
Amos 1:11.
Right.
Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for the 4th, I would not turn away the punishment thereof.
What the Most High say he gonna do?
I would not turn away the punishment thereof.
Y'all listen good, listen good. Read that again from the top.
Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom.
We done been through more than 3 transgressions of what they done to us, just right here. We ain't went through the history, no heavy history, 70 AD, the Grecians. We ain't went through none of that. We just talking about right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, on a slave plantation. How many transgressions we done brought out that they did against us?
Man,
I know I done said at least 10, 15.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Right, go ahead.
And for 4,
go ahead.
I would not turn away the punishment thereof.
What the Most High say he can't do for Edom?
I would not turn away the punishment thereof.
So just be patient. Because they going to have to get it for this. Go ahead.
Because he did pursue his brother with the sword.
He did what?
He did pursue his brother with the sword.
When they brought us off the west coast of Africa, they did what?
Did pursue his brother with the sword.
When they shaved your head and beat your back in and raped your wife, they did what?
Pursue his brother with the sword.
Oh, when they chased the northern kingdom off their reservations and put them in little huts and stuff?
Pursue his brother with the sword.
Go ahead.
And did cast off all pity.
And did what?
Cast off all pity.
Working in a damn smokehouse for the rest of your life is what?
Cast off all pity.
They had no pity for you. Go ahead.
And his anger did tear perpetually.
And he did it because he was what?
His anger did tear perpetually.
His anger tear perpetually. It was always a stressful situation every day of your life on a plantation. It was never a good day, except Sunday. You see that? That's why people love Christianity. Sunday was a good day. I don't have to do nothing. Master's chilling. He's got guests. He might get a little drunk tonight. Someone might get raped. But for the most part, everybody's okay.
Kids might be a footstool.
The kids might be a footstool, but hey, it's better than Monday through Saturday. All right, go ahead.
And he kept his wrath forever.
And he did what?
Kept his wrath forever.
What we still doing right now? We're in the midst of his wrath right now. Now you about to really see who they is. See, what they did here, we forgot about this. But it's coming back, right? And we seeing how they about to start acting up and turning up, all right? So with that, I think we done. Yeah, let's make a move. That's all praises to the Most High. This is beautiful, man. Hopefully everybody got some good edification. I think we went through all the buildings, I think. I don't know what that one is. Okay. Oh, wait. Let me get one more. This was the plantation office, right? This building served as an office for the family as they ran the plantation. This is a business. They got rich off of us. Why you think black folks don't have corporations? Because the corporation started right here. And they passed it down through 5 generations. Right? It may have also been used for the family's law practices, which means they had the Bible in there. And guess what? If you got out of line, they probably whooped you in there too. Or pulled out a paddle on you. Or put you right on that tree between the butt cheek of the tree. Right there. Right in the line. That's where you fit. Tied you between them 2 trees. Up, he did this. He didn't make quota. Up, time up. Right here. Right? That was you. You was late. We're going to write you up. We're going to suspend you for a week without pay. That's the same thing as getting whooped back on the plantation. Gotta understand that thing. All right? So with that, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for paying attention. It was good. Hopefully we answered some questions. Brought some good scriptures out. Beautiful reading, good precepts. And with that, we're going to say shalom. All right, let's